Welcome back to TFR eSports Season 26. We are back for another season, and it is indeed myself, CJH, on commentary for the first time on the F1 division since right the way back in Season 9, before I eventually ended up driving in this division. So it's unfamiliar territory. However, I've got a new co-com alongside me. It is the reigning F2 champion, Liam, otherwise known as GG Well Played. Welcome, Liam, to the commentary box, and you're in the big league now with the F1 commentary. Hey, yeah, looking forward to this. We should have a good racing store. He should be, yeah. He should be. We'll be shocked if he's not. Let's be real. I think that is the likely thing. Well, this is the thing. To set the scene then, Mo Solver here, the reigning champion in the McLaren. Apparently they can't hear you, GG, so we're going to give that a very quick check again of the settings. If you just go into your... I do apologize for viewers whilst you can hear this. But if you go into the party, and then if you go to your voice chat settings, and you should be able to enable everything there. We'll continue on and we'll give that a test in a minute. But to set the scene, we've got Mo Solver then as the reigning champion in the McLaren, getting us going there. He's invalidated already at the first corner. And
I got it.
Perfect. We should have that all working now. Let me know in the chat if you could hear Liam just there. But Mo Solver is the reigning champion. But we're thinking, Liam, that Chris is he's the target this season. All eyes are going to be on him because he's the absolute slam dunk biggest favourite ever for any championship. I think I've never had a season where going into it you're almost so convinced that he is the man that is the red hot favourite for the championship.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins every race. It would take an absolute miracle.
Oh, no. Let's not say that now. I mean, I know what you mean, but let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope for some stuff to happen.
Absolutely. They can hear you now, so we're all good. As my master...
A big wobble.
Oh, yeah, he is on a lap. He is on a lap indeed, and he is going towards the final section. We've got our first 5 laps coming in. B29 then, setting the pace with a 1:15.6, about just under a tenth clear of Epic the Animal on a short-term contract. He is an Aston Martin. More on that in a minute, because here comes Chris then through the final corner as Mint Kestrel now sets the pace out front. What is Chris going to do? He smashes that with a 15 dead, half a second clear, and that is what we were expecting, Liam, and he's already delivered.
Yeah, I mean, even with a big wobble, he still managed to put in a brilliant lap. And
but
Seb's
how about that?
A tenth slower. That's a great lap.
That's interesting. Seb Goncalves back tonight properly for this season. He's got his PC issues solved, and he is obviously a former 3-time champion, and a 10th in it there between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. That is just going to give us all the ingredients for a spicy racing store. Lauda there, obviously this is his first full season. He made his debut at the final race of last season in Abu Dhabi. Is currently third for McLaren. Mo Solver has gone again. He's coming through the penultimate corner now. Let's see what he can do. We know the tyre wear is quite high here, though, so he might have suffered a little bit by having to do that extra lap. Here comes Mo Solver then up to the line and goes third. So McLaren third and fourth for the minute. This is very much looking like a real-life F1 grid at the minute, Liam, with the top 6.
Yeah, I mean...
apart from the Ferraris.
Oh, wow. Okay. The Ferraris never normally perform in real life, but Seb seems to be doing it today.
Absolutely. Maybe it's a bit more... It's like a blend of maybe 2024 maybe 2022, but the McLarens were obviously not very good in that season. But maybe a bit of 2024. We've got Chris out front, basically like Max Verstappen this season. He is the favourite for the championship, but he's got pretty much our version of Charles Leclerc, of Seb Goncalves, giving him a lot of pressure there, only a tenth off, and at the minute that is looking a spicy grid for this race. So, Jeff Capis says in the chat, "Go Chris." That's obviously a fellow Red Bull driver, that's why he's saying that. But Mid Castrol then at 5th, he was 2nd in the championship last season. Half a second. Were you expecting a bit more from him there, Liam, or am I being a bit harsh?
I was expecting Mint to be further up. I know what he's capable of, and half a second is subpar for him.
Yeah. Interesting. So there could be a bit more time in the locker. Now, I want to say a word about this man here, Randro, in the Williams. He's on a bit of an in-lap right now, but an almighty return for him to come back to TFR eSports, because he last raced back in season 20, a couple of years ago now probably, and he famously, in the TFR world, if you like, became the first ever driver to win from the country of Uruguay. He is the one and only driver ever to race in TFR eSports from Uruguay, but he's back tonight, and that was in F2. He won the season opener in Qatar, had to leave that season slightly early because of other things getting in the way, but he's back tonight in the F1 division, and we'll be giving him all the support for hopefully a good race for him as he joins Phantom Fox in the Williams as well. He's moved from Alpine to Williams, representing the Gulf livery there. Down in 13th at the minute. He's going to go for another flying lap. What else have we got? We got PC Willie, the Scotsman there in the Mercedes. He lines up alongside B29 for this season. So we'll see what he can do. He showed some decent pace at times during preseason testing. The only other team is, we've got the reserve drivers in the Haas tonight of Komanik and Tax Collector. They're both from Haas. And then the Sauber pair of Mindmaster, who's on a 2-year contract until the Audi car comes into the game. He's the only driver who's on a thing like that because he wanted that car when the F126 stuff comes around. And he's joined by the Season 12 champion, Big Boy Joanne. He returns as well. He's a bit off the pace at the minute, so we're not expecting anything too crazy from him. But if he can get a top 10 tonight, that'll be a bit of a miracle for him. Considering he is pretty brand new to the game. He's not last, though, at the minute, Liam, because he's just gone 13th, so a great lap from him.
Yeah, great lap. Someone who's just touched the game for the first time, like a week ago.
I think I'd be about 4 seconds off, if that was myself, with my qualifying pace from F1 for the last few seasons. Here comes Phantom Fox, though. He's coming up to the line, and he is going to go 9th. A second and a half off, though. That's quite a gap. We've got a bit of a we've got 2 grids here, Liam, because from 1st to 8th, as someone's just popped himself up, that was Epic the Animal now, up into P5 there for Aston Martin. Yeah, from 1st to 8th, Liam, we've got one grid order. You'd say Randra maybe in a little bit of middle of nowhere, but then the rest, they're quite a way off, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, 7 tenths between the Williams pair is a large gap. It's almost the same gap between Chris and Randro, so it is about two separate grids.
Yeah, so we hope they can with the way up. But some of the drivers, they are kind of accepting their fate, and they don't mind that bit of a midfield battle, because at the end of the day, that odd race where you can get a top 5 or maybe even a podium will taste that all a bit sweeter. Mint Castrol then is on a bit of a stormer here. He's absolutely attacking that corner. The amount of speed he's just carried through that corner compared to the F3 division that I've just watched earlier is pretty remarkable. He's got a couple of corners to go then in that Ferrari as the sun is setting here in Melbourne. What can he do? DRS wide open then, coming up to the line. Where is he going to go? It's 4th. Just under 2 tenths of an improvement. That's not a bad lap, Liam. What do you make of that?
It's much more on the pace we'd expect from Mint from his last season performance. He's a lot closer to Mo, as you'd see last season, but Seb and Chris just have much better laps at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see if that might be it. He's got enough time. As Lauda's got disqualified. Lauda has got disqualified for reversing in the middle of the track there. And, there's another car coming down the straight. Is he going to hit him? Deary me. He has. He's gone straight on. Who was that?
It's B29.
Is it B29? It's just gone straight on there. I couldn't quite see. Did he get any damage
He's
from
a
that?
tenth and a half up.
Jeez, that was a scary moment. No damage on the car. But Lauda then, I mean, that's a shock in itself because he's now at the session after being right up the order, Liam, and he'll have to start from last place. I mean, what on earth has happened there?
I think he may have had a moment coming out or going into the chicane and just tried getting it back round and the game's disqualified him.
Deary me. I mean, I get it. That part of the track is pretty hard to get the car back. I mean, I don't know how he spun it at that particular bit of the circuit anyway. But a disaster for him. Chris then is gone for another lap. Chris Samurai. But he is actually going to come back in the pits because he has invalidated that time. So he's going to have to go again. But Mo Solver there in the McLaren. Up in the first sector, up in the middle sector, but it's fine margins, isn't it, Liam? Because this is the thing now. Now they've all laid down their marker. It's only going to be tiny improvements from here on in.
Yeah, Mo's only up 200ths in the first two sectors. Oh, and he's had a big moment. He's on the curve.
Ooh.
So I think if he does improve, it will be very marginal, and it won't improve. He's backed off. Backed off. He's pitting.
Into the pits he goes. It's top six then, all into the pit lane. Rando's going for another one. We've also got PC Willie also out there on the track, but I think he is as well on a bit of an outlap at the minute. Code Manic is invalidated. My Master is coming through on another in-lap or outlap, something like that. So not too much happening on the circuit at the minute. What we're thinking then, is this... I mean, we've obviously got a straight fight between the top two. We're maybe saying Mo Solver, maybe Mint is in the mix for pole. Are we saying that's it? I mean, is 4 attempts a bit too much for Epic to claw back?
Well, you never know. But I do think maybe top 5 would be the absolute max, you could say, are in the mix for pole.
Yeah, I think so. So here we go. I've got something from Mido here. Lauda spun and he was just waiting for the Mercedes to pass, but the game said no. But my question is, Liam, how the hell has he spun at that bit of the track? I just don't understand how he can drop it there.
Oh, I have no idea.
It is a mystery. It's a mystery. Let us know in the chat what your predictions are for the race. I think we're both saying here that we think Chris is going to get pole here, unless you've changed that at the last minute.
Phantom's 3 tenths up in the first sector.
He is indeed. So, Phantom then, on a bit of an improvement here in this battle, you'd have to say, to get into the top 8, probably. That's where these guys are in the mix. Randro, again, might be a little bit out of reach. He's lost a bit of time, though, in that middle sector. What about the setups for this track, Liam? I know you had your F2 race earlier. What do you think in terms of... It's obviously a low-wing setup, but are you more like an extreme low-wing setup, or is it more just a kind of standard low-wing, if you get what I mean? Like, it's not exactly 0-0 wings, but what are you thinking for here?
Well, I ran single digits.
Yeah.
It's for the race you need straight line speed down that back straight. It's one of the only overtaking possibilities on the lap. So having low wings gives you more of an advantage than people who have high wings through the middle sector.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing. You can get a good quali lap maybe from a little bit more lower wings, but it's not. Yeah, I'm not sure it's worth the cost of getting overtaken by a bunch of drivers during the race. Got just under 3 minutes to go then of the session. We got a bunch of drivers then out on the track, and that's B29 going for another run, and he's a 10th up in the first sector, Liam. It's looking strong, and let's see what he can do for the rest lap. This part of the circuit, fairly straightforward, but Nifo says he doesn't sound Irish. Do you want to explain that one, Liam? You don't have to explain that. I mean, it's just pinged up on the screen, that's why I read it out.
I was born in Ireland, but I moved to London when I was younger. so I have more of a South London accent than an Irish accent, but it comes out in certain words.
So there you go. So you can leave him alone for now on that one. Before anyone else spams that question in the chat. Here comes B29 then through the final corner in that Mercedes this season, moving from Aston Martin. Where is he going to go? Up into fourth. Good lap. 2.5 tenths improvement. Up into fourth. That might be it for him, Liam. I don't think he's going to get a proper another run in because he probably won't have the fuel in the car.
No, I think that may be the max of P4 for B29. Mint and Epic will be looking to get ahead of him. No.
So Mint's actually invalidated his lap. So he'll get another run at it if he's got enough fuel in the tank. But that's a scruffy mistake for him to make as Mo Solver there gets a little bit sideways and he's backed out. He's backed out of it. Given up on this lap. Your reigning champion there is at the minute staring at a max of P3. B29 is speeding around the track, but I think he is also out of this one. JVKP saying in the chat, just wait for a 14.8 from Chris in a minute. We'll find out. Mint Kestrel then is going for another one. And, well, let's see what Mint can do here. Epic the Animal also going for another one. Mo Solver. I mean, do you think Mo's going to go for another one here, Liam? I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether these guys have got enough fuel to do 2 laps. I mean, B29 certainly hasn't because he's retired.
It looks like Mo might have enough fuel to go again, but we'll just have to have a look to see if he runs out on the last straight.
Well, here we go. This is it. This is it. In this opening round of the season in Melbourne for qualifying. Seb then is also on a lap. There is Chris, and he's had to back out. So something's gone on there because the clock is going to go, and he was getting out of the way of another car. So Chris is done and dusted for this qualifying. He will not improve. And Seb Goncalves is on the pace in the first sector. He's invalidated. He's invalidated there. Took too much curb, and that is him done in qualifying here. Mint Kestrel, though, he's had a good middle sector. He's got a bit of traffic up the road, but this could be oh so tight, Liam.
Yeah, Mo to Solver's up as well. It's going to be so close between Mo and Mint to see if they can beat Chris.
Can they do it? Will we have a turn up to the books here? The checker flag is out, like I say. We've got some last improvements hitting the line. Here comes
Mo's
Mint.
invalidated.
Oh, no way. Mint doesn't improve by enough, and Mo has also invalidated. So too Seb Goncalves. The top 6 are all not going to improve here, and neither is Randro because he's also invalidated. It's the anticlimactic end to qualifying there. And that is it. No one will improve. Chris is on pole then for the opening round here in Australia. And I think a lot of people would have predicted that, Liam, but not many would have predicted it to be that close. That was definitely up for grabs, shall I say, for the others to take a shock pole there.
Yeah, I mean, a tenth between Chris and Seb was something no one would be expecting coming into this race. Everyone would think Chris would be a few tenths clear at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's mad to say it because some people know a different time of TFR eSports and will think, well, hang on a minute. I remember when Seb was dominating this league and won multiple championships on the bounce, but it's just not the case now. Chris, despite having no championship to his name, is that red hot favourite, and he's managed to get that pole position. Nefo says it all depends if Chris can get out of DRS by lap 2. I think he's right. That could dictate on the kind of race that we're going to see here. We've got all the big title protagonists at the very front. Bar Lauder at the back there. We'll be interested to see where he ends up. But they've all ended up where we expected them. There's not any major shocks there, Liam, which actually probably means we're going to get a proper good race here.
Yeah, I think it will be a great race. I mean, it's very difficult to break DRS around this track because there's so many zones. But if Chris is able to do it, then I think it may be difficult for anyone else to beat him.
Absolutely. How are we thinking of the strategy here? Not to put you on the spot, but obviously it's 50%, much longer race than any of the other divisions. Is it a simple one-stop, or is it not quite that straightforward?
I mean, some drivers may attempt the one stop, but I think starting on the hards would be the better strategy, because the mediums around this track just die on high fuel.
Yeah, that is true. I think this is the thing. The hard tyre is a very good race tyre, I guess, around this particular circuit. So let's see what's going to happen. Kieran says on the chat, come on, B29. So quite a bit of a mix of support for different drivers in the chat. It's not long to go then before we're going to head to the grid here, and we will see what is going to happen in this opening round of Season 26. It's going to be a short run into the first corner, and we usually see a little bit of chaos on the opening laps here in Melbourne. But what is going to happen this time? Chris and Seb Goncalves start on the front row. Arguably the two more kind of favoured drivers for the championship this season, but Mo Solver is right behind. He is defending his championship in the McLaren. He himself said his second half to last season wasn't good enough. Can he start this season in style like he did last season, winning the opening round? It's a bit of a wait here. The drivers are taking their time getting the setups maybe finally adjusted and the strategies all sorted. We are expecting a safety car at least at some point in this race. It's kind of quite likely around here. And we're about to find out then what is going to happen. Here, down under, we've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we are underway for Season 26. Chris then gets a pretty good start ahead of Seb Goncalves and covers them off into the first corner. Mo Solver, though, had a little look to the outside, can't quite get it done, and they're all cleanly through. Mo Solver, again, coming at Seb Goncalves there, tucks back into the slipstream, but can't quite get the move done into this next corner here. They all funnel through fairly clean, but there goes Mo Solver right around the outside, and they touch. They're both off the track, and Seb now is behind B29, who moves up into P3. Great move there from Mo Solver, but he had to get his elbows out there, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted any chance of overtaking him, he had to get aggressive, but now that's allowed Chris to nearly break DRS already.
Yeah, Chris is clear. That's what they were saying in the chat, is if Chris breaks that DRS early on here, it could be pivotal in dominating this race. They're all on mediums at the start of this race, so no mix in the strategy because they're all going for the same thing here. They'll be going for that one stopper onto the hard tyres. Lauda is up into 11th there, already swooping right around the outside of Big Boy Joanne, and they've made contact actually. Lauda getting very sideways there. Ewan getting down into 14th as well, so a bit of shenanigans at the back, but Chris starts lap 2 then with a 1.1 second gap over Mo Solver. It's still close, Liam, and if Mo Solver gets it together, he could still stay in that DRS.
Yeah, with the multitude of zones, he just needs to keep it pinned through the second part of the first sector and the early parts of the second sector, and he should be able to get it down both doses of the back straight.
Well, Mo then having a bit of a decent sector 1 here. It's matching the pace of Chris. There's about a millisecond in it as they went through that turn there, but I think he might have just been on the cusp of dipping out of it. And he does have it. He does have the DRS. So that could be critical for these drivers. Stay with Chris. It seems mad that we're saying that on lap 2, but it is so powerful around the circuit, Liam, because they get it about 4 times.
Yeah, and I mean, Chris is basically out of battery and trying to push away.
Really?
Yeah, he's harvesting through this last part of the lap, but going through the straight, he was on single digit.
It's fascinating. So that just shows how hard he's pushing. And the fact, that he's emptied the battery already just tells you what you need to know. He has got that gap, though. Again, over a second, we've got a yellow flag. There's a car in the barrier. Down the start finish straight, it's the Scotsman in the Mercedes of PC Willie. And he has hit the barrier, and Epic the Animal's already got a time penalty for exceeding track limits. And there's damage on that Mercedes, Liam. It's going to be a long old race ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, with everyone trying to one stop, he has to try something different now. Come in, replace the wings, slap some hards on, and just try and go long.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be a long race ahead for him, and he's got the whole lap to do with that damage on the car. But he's got to stick at it. There could be safety cars later on, and well, Jeff Capi saying in the chat there, can't really get out of DRS unless you drain the battery. And that is what he's done. But B29 then is on a charge here, and he needs to because he's got Seb Goncalves right on his tail, coming straight back at the Mercedes here. And he is pulling to the inside on the Mercedes, gets late on the brakes, and pushes B29 off the track into the gravel. And, well, that was controversial, I have to say, because B29 now down into 6th place, and Seb Goncalves absolutely smacked him off the circuit there, Liam.
Yeah, it was a bit aggressive from Seb, and B29 has to do quite a lot of time with gravel on his tyres. He's going to be struggling into some turns.
That could be going to the stewards later on, because that looked incredibly aggressive from the free-time champion, but well, he continues on, and he's got his teammate right in his mirrors as well. This is great. We've got almost like a real-life F1 race here with the teams that we've got at the very front, all absolutely nothing in it. And Chris then has had a bit of a iffy lap here, probably trying to recharge that battery. It has allowed Mo Solver to dip back into that DRS. But we've got the top 6 then with a 2-second gap to Code Manic in 7th. And that's basically the story of this race. We're going to have a bit of a midfield scrap and a bit of a front runner scrap as well. So we've got Phantom Fox there making a move on Tax Collector further down the order. A bit of a DRS pass there with how powerful that one is. But Randra then pulls to the outside and makes the pass on Code Manic for P7. I think for these guys, Liam, P7 is almost going to be like a race win for them, because there's just no way they're going to be able to keep up with the front runners, and they've almost just got to aim for that position to get the most points out of this one.
Yeah, P7 is the max I think that they could get, but I mean, with Lauda coming through the field, they're going to have to defend, and Phantom Fox has had a huge moment coming out of the last turn.
He has indeed, and they're all just in that squabble of cars in the midfield there. I promise I will keep an eye on that, viewers, because there is going to be a bit of battling brewing up here, because Mo Solver is catching Chris here. He's really starting to get in a bit of a rhythm, and Chris, like I say, maybe trying to just recharge the battery a touch. But that's the problem here, Liam, isn't it? That recharging the battery is so difficult around the circuit.
Yeah, you have to spend most of your lap in recharge mode just so you can dump it down the straights. It's the only time you can overtake around the lap is coming out of a straight, so you just have to dump it.
Well, look how close this is getting now. Mo Solver there, about 3/10 off. Chris going through that final DRS section there. And I mean, the top 6 are all absolutely nose to tail. We've obviously got that penalty for Epic the Animal in 5th. But the Ferrari pair, I mean, there'll be no team orders this early in the season, because they're both going to be going for the championship if they're going to have this pace week in, week out. But who's going to make that first lunge first? Mint Castrol just getting out of the DRS then into the first corner, and we'll be just looking for where that mistake comes. I mean, fair play to Chris, because he's got an absolute queue of cars, absolutely just waiting for him to make a mistake here, and he can't do anything about it, can he? With no DRS, he's going to have to just pull a lap from nowhere if he wants to try and break it.
Yeah, we have to see how Chris can deal with the pressure of 5 really quick cars sat behind him just waiting.
Well, here comes Molsova once again, gaining a lot here, and he's going to go for it, to the outside on Chris, and they touch, and he's off. Oh my word, Chris gets hit off the circuit there. I'm not quite sure what happened there. And, well, down into 6th place, and what on earth happened there, Liam? I mean, Mo Solver went for the Hail Mary move right around the outside into that corner, but Chris, from the lead now, is down into 6th place.
Yeah, I think it's just a fact of Mo did not give enough room on the inside, and it's given Chris a wheel lock, and he's just gone round.
Well, I did not expect that. That just came from absolutely nowhere. And, Jacob Capri saying in the chat, that's what happened to you in the F2
That's
race.
exactly what happened to me.
Flashbacks right in front of your eyes about a couple hours later on. But, well, I wonder if that'll go to the stewards, because, I mean, he had his... This is the thing, though, with the way the rules are, I'd imagine that he had enough of the car ahead when he came turning in. We've got a yellow flag, though. We've got a big shunt, actually. We've got 2 cars off. Scratch that thought for the minute, because we've got Komanic in the wall and Phantom Fox there with big damage on the front wing. Komanic hasn't got damage on his front wing, but he's lost a heap of time as Big Boy Joanne there now makes the move on Tactical X, and so too does Lauda on Randro for that P7. So a bit of shenanigans going on there. They all continue on, thankfully for them. But what do you think, Liam? Is that penalty worthy for Mo Silva? I'm not saying that it is going to be a penalty, but do you think it is worthy of a penalty?
I'd have to have a look at it again. You don't know how alongside Chris was from the onboard camera I was watching from.
Oh, sorry to jump over you, because there's the Ferraris making contact in the first corner. Dearie me. Seb Goncalves picks a penalty up as well, but dearie me, Mint Castrol there just chucked it up the inside, and Seb was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. Turned in on his teammate there, and it so easily could have sent him spinning around. And that, I mean, I said there was no team orders there. I didn't quite expect them to hit into each other. But thankfully for Mint Castrol, he has managed to continue on. Big Boy Joanne's had a moment, and he is now facing the wrong way around. But back to that thing. I mean, the one thing with that, Liam, is Chris now will be absolutely fired up. I mean, if you're Mo Silva, you hope you don't see that Red Bull for the remainder of the race.
No, Mo needs to just get his legs stretched out and just go. He doesn't need to be looking behind him. It's Chris's job to hunt him down now. Mo just needs to stay calm and keep it collected.
I mean, the thing with Mo is there was a lot of stuff last season, particularly infamously with Armadi, where he does fall out with drivers quite a lot because he has got quite an aggressive driving style. And I think we're going to see a bit of that again there. We've got another yellow flag now for something. I think that's going to go pretty quickly. But is Mo too aggressive, Liam? Or is that another argument for another day? I mean, does he kind of not give enough respect to other drivers?
I mean, overall it's racing. You have to be aggressive to get anywhere. He's a champion for a reason. So
yeah,
I'd say his driving style is one of a winner, I suppose.
Yeah, that is the thing. Most people who do end up winning the top division, they are a bit ruthless. And we're seeing a bit of that tonight already. Chris then is gaining a lot here on B29. Had a little look to the inside, trying to put off the Mercedes man. Couldn't do so at the minute as Chris gets a little bit out of shape there, taking a bit too much curb. Lauda now wheel to wheel with Randro, and Randro forces him off the track, and they're both off there. And as Randro gets a time penalty, Lauda loses a chunk of time as well. So Lauda just cannot get past that Williams. I tell you, if he gets ahead of that Williams, Liam, he's not far off the front runners. He's, I know, about 5 seconds, but that's not a lot.
No, especially if they keep sitting in a train, they're going to be losing loads of time.
Absolutely. And Randro is defending with all of his might here. Chris has a bit of a bad lap there, you know. He's lost a second now to B29, who will be relieved that he's been spared a lap or so here of not having that charging Red Bull in his mirrors. But he's stuck behind Epic the Animal at the minute, who has been distanced a bit to the couple of Ferraris at the road. Mint Castrol now also catching back up to Seb Goncalves, who's also starting to catch Mo Silva. So this race is really starting to brew up with battles popping up left, right and centre. As so PC Willie has unfortunately had to retire. His debut is over. Mint Castrol, though, has made the move. Yeah. Good spot, Liam. What happened there?
It was an easy DRS move. He just went round the outside, cut in front of him, and just took the corner normally. Just easy down the straight.
So
I think
job
made
done.
It a bit easy for him.
I think so.
Made it a bit more difficult.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think as well, though, when you think a couple of laps ago when they collided, I mean, there's no point fighting it out like crazy right now. Because to be honest, those two, they do need to work together a little bit here because there's a win absolutely up for grabs. Chris is in the pits. I thought he was starting to struggle a little bit. This is an undercut getting triggered here. And this will be in hope of clearing the others. And Radro's crashed. Has he crashed in the pit straight? Or is that in the pit lane? Is that in the pits? He's retired. I think he's retired in the pits. But that's a bit of a shock, Liam.
Yeah, it's released louder now into the clean air to try and catch up to the top 5.
So what on earth has happened there? Why has Randrew had to retire? That's a shame to see on his return to the league. And, well, we've lost now a couple of cars in the space of a lap or so. And yeah, Lauda now will be delighted because he's now got a bit of breathing room to get his foot down and try and bring himself back into the mix after that shock bad qualifying with the DSQ. Meanwhile, out front, Mint Castro now putting the pressure on Mo Solver. So Mo Solver now with his mirrors full of a couple of Ferraris. And you wonder if any of these guys are going to react to Chris down the pits. None of them are pitting just yet. Or are they? No, that is a Ferrari in. That's Seb Goncalves. Now, that's interesting, isn't it, Liam? Because he was the third car there. So, I mean, he's pulling the trigger early.
Yeah, I mean, I would have expected Mint to come in first. The graining on his front left looks intolerable.
Yeah.
But Seb's done it first. He's trying to get an undercut. He might come out in the lead depending on how dead the top two's tyres are.
I think he had to do that, you know, because look at this. Chris has already jumped ahead of Epic the Animal, and not even by a little bit. He's well clear of Epic the Animal, who was a couple of cars in front of him. So he now clears the Aston Martin easy as you like, and he's going to be hot on the tail of Seb Goncalves next up. And that is alarm bells ringing right there for the top two, because they've got to get in the pits right now, surely, Liam.
Yeah, if I've seen that, especially large undercut, he's in DRS of the person who's in third, I would be getting in the pits as soon as possible.
So they've got to do it. I mean, because they will. Yeah, Jacob could be saying in the chat there, top two are in trouble. They're absolutely in trouble here, because if Seb was just in front, I think them two could take the lead here. Yeah, they're both coming in. It's an absolute no-brainer. Here we go then. This is a key part of this race. Lap 12 of 29. It needs to all be pretty clean and quick stops. Looks like the case. There's a bit of a slow stop for Mint Castro there on the release. I think he's lost a bit of time, you know. Yeah, he has. Here's Mo Silva then. And there is the rest of the pack. And that is Seb then into the lead of the race. Just getting ahead of my master, who's not pitted yet in this race. And there is Chris as well, picking him off. But look at the time they've gained. They're absolutely miles clear of the rest. And the undercut, once again, working absolute wonders there, Liam.
Yeah, they had a 1.7 second lead to Mo as they came out. And now they have a buffer of Mindmaster in the middle of them. They're going to be looking to just dump their batteries and gain a huge advantage now.
So, barring any safety cars, later on, this is it. This is your order and how they're all going to be scrapping it out from here on in. Chris is now, with his mega pace on that outlap, has dragged himself then back up the order and back ahead of Mo Solver. What do we think, though? How's the tyres going to be towards the end of the race, Liam? Because is maybe pitting a couple of laps earlier potentially maybe going to hurt him later on?
Yeah, he pitted a few laps early and he's got a huge undercut, but his tyres will be dead at the end, so he needs to make the advantage of his warmer tyres and just try and get a gap for a buffer later.
Yeah, that is the only caveat here, is he's gained a lot, but he may pay the price later on. I'm sure a driver of his skill, compared to me talking right now, can pull a rabbit out of the hat here. But let's see I mean, Mo Solver will be a bit frustrated with that. I mean, he's been caught napping a little bit as well, because you should have been aware that Chris dived in the pits that early, and if he pitted the lap after, he would have probably maintained the lead here. But here comes Chris then with DRS, and it's an easy pass on Seb Goncalves. Seb couldn't do anything to stop that one, and Chris marches on then into the lead. And I mean, it's just, you can't defend against that, can't you, Liam? I mean, the DRS is so powerful at that part of the circuit if you get a good enough exit.
Yeah, Seb didn't even bother wasting any battery. He made it easy enough for Chris. I think maybe he's going to try and come back at him this lap, maybe down the first straight.
Well, let's just see. Sorry, as I take a drink now. Chris, yeah, won't be able to quite break DRS yet, and we will probably see a bit of DRS swapping for now. We've got the Haas and the Sauber pair of drivers now scrapping it out now for a P8. With a couple of DNFs that we've had here, they are all now suddenly right back in the mix of scoring some decent points here. And so we'll keep an eye on that. My Master has got much, much younger tyres. So too is Sats Collector over Co-Manic and Big Boy Joanne. You'd imagine them guys will have to pit again later on. We'll keep an eye on Fountain Box as well in that battle of the midfield. But they could all start to bring themselves into play for that scrap for P8 later on. And it could be big points for each of them teams. Looking at a team like Sauber, they are definitely aiming for a strong P6 finish this season with the way the field stacks up. And until teams like Alpine and others start to get more drivers, they're in a straight fight between the likes of Williams and Haas. And Chris then having a bit of an iffy final sector there. He's going to set Seb Goncalves right back on his tail here with the DRS. Not quite going to be close enough down the start-finish straight, but it's also allowed Mo Solver, Liam, back into DRS. So we've got a freeway scrap on our hands once again.
Yeah, and I think Mo might get a bit impatient being sat behind them for a few laps. So I'd expect fireworks at some point.
Mo getting impatient? I've never heard of that one before. Let's see. Well, lap 16 then of 29. And there goes a move from Seb Goncalves into the lead then. Ahead of Chris. And, well, pretty easy done. It's going to just be a bit of DRS swapping for now. But Mo Solver, he's just not going to hang about here. He knows that he's going to get his elbows out and will be pulling the punch. Well, won't be pulling the punches because he'll be absolutely throwing them at Chris. And Chris is wide. Oh, Chris is wide there. And good spot, Liam, with a lock up there on the car. And he will be in big trouble. And he's defending the inside. He's weaving across the track. Can't do that a bit too much. But that's the first crack in the armour, if you like, Liam, because for someone who's so bloody quick, that is, he's not having a perfect race tonight, is he?
No, the quali, like him not getting his last quali lap in and then spinning with Mo, it's not been his best drive. But if his not best drive is still second, then he's obviously very skilled.
Yeah, this is the thing. And we've seen before, I don't know if there may be something in this, we've seen top drivers have a bit of a bad run at a track like this. I always remember Amadi has an awful record at this circuit for some reason. Despite being the most successful driver ever in TFR eSports, he actually hardly ever wins this race in Albert Park. So let's see. Can Chris pick himself up here? And, he's still well within the DRS of Seb, but he is having a bit of a rough time. And for some reason, it seems like that corner there that they've just gone through, he's got it right this time. He seems to struggle a little bit going through there. But it's good to see we have got a bit of a proper fight then for the win here as we rapidly approach the final part of this race. This is where it's a bit of a chess battle, isn't it, Liam? I mean, those that have listened to my commentary over the years, I probably say that a lot about these kind of races when it gets to this part, where they're all playing it a little bit calm right now, but then it's all going to kick off a bit later on when they know that they haven't got the time for playing a bit of DRS chicken.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Seb in the lead, I would back Chris up into Mo and just get Mo through and then make defending Chris Mo's problem and just stretch your legs.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. That's Big Boy Joanne, I think, having a bit of a wobble through the first couple of corners. He's got no damage on the front wing, though, but unfortunately for him, it seems like a bit of a moment there. Mo moves to the inside on Chris. Didn't make the lunge, but he's just letting him know he's there, isn't he, Liam? This is just bubbling up here, and you can just tell that this is going to kick off eventually.
Yeah, Mo's trying to force Chris into some mistakes, and Chris has 2 track limit warnings, so he cannot afford to make any more mistakes.
He might be in trouble here. I mean, it's very close into that first corner, but he's not quite... Oh, we've had a big shunt, I think, actually. That's Big Boy Joanne again off. I don't think he's got any damage again, though. He's managed to get it going. Good to see. But we usually want to see a car off at that part of the circuit. It usually ends in tears. But is Mo going to make the move then? On Chris sooner rather than later. He's off again, Big Boy Joanne. And again, he's got moving again. So thankfully, we don't need a safety car right now because this is getting pretty damn interesting here. Mo... Still, he's very close, but I think because the car in front's got that DRS, Liam, you just can't get close enough.
No, DRS is so powerful around here. Even if you'd need Chris to get an awful exit for Mo to even have a chance.
Dearie me, sorry, Liam. I thought he was going for the move. And we have got to move behind, because that's Epic the Animal. Going wheel to wheel, Mint Castrol there, and they're still wheel to wheel here. He's going to hold that outside line, and does get that P4. And Mint Castrol then losing out. And fair play to Epic there. And doing a great job. He's got that penalty, so he might not hold on to the position for too long in this one. But great racing between the pair of them. But yes, you're absolutely right, Liam. I think the DRS is so powerful here that if the car in front of you has got it, it is almost impossible to get ahead. But we've got about 10 laps to go then. I'm going to put you on the spot, Liam. How do you think this one's going to play out between these three?
I could see it just staying exactly how it is.
Oh, come on.
Chris knows Seb has a penalty, so all he needs to do is just keep in DRS and fend off Mo, and he's got the win. But he has to stay in between the white lines, because I said before he's got 2 track limit warnings. Any mistake, and it's Mo's game now.
I can't lie, I forgot that Seb's got a penalty. As Mint Castrol gets straight back ahead of Epic the Animal. Again, with an easy DRS pass. Yes, I think... Yeah, Seb now with that penalty, I mean, it does make that a little bit tricky. Obviously, the thing is, because people can get penalties removed now, you just never know. You never know with people. They could take that to the stewards and appeal the hell out of it. He's had a much, much better final sector, though, there. I mean, he just couldn't quite break that DRS. And whilst Chris is still sitting in it, he's doing all he needs to do. Am I right in saying Mint and Epic are maybe catching these two, or is that fairly stable there? I don't know if that's that camera shot there. It looked like they were not too far away in the background. I mean, have they got the pace here to bring themselves into it? I know Epic's got penalty, but...
I mean, the gap seems to be quite stable at 3 seconds, but if they work together and DRS swap, I don't see why they shouldn't catch up. They have the pace.
Yeah, this is the thing. These guys, I think that's one lap to the other. They seem to gain a bit with the DRS swapping, but then it's not good enough. Here comes Mo Solver again, getting a bit closer to Chris, but again, it's just not close enough. I mean, Chris could make the move here if he really wanted to, but I don't think he does want to, because whilst he's sat behind Seb, he can manage this race and just keep that McLaren at arm's length, Because I think once Chris does make the move on Seb, if he wants to take that risk, it could put him in a spot bar. Seb getting a little bit
really
wide. Yeah, he was. He was definitely very wide there. But you know what? He managed to pick it up pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah, he somehow had a great exit. I don't understand.
Almost finding a whole new line there through that penultimate corner, because he managed to keep the gap how it was and didn't come to any bother. It's fascinating. The way this race is shaping up is maybe a bit of a slow burner. There's not too much going on right now, but it is starting to boil up quite nicely. Mint Castrol as well, don't rule him out. Just took a second out of Mo Solver there. That gap now only 2 seconds to the top 3. He could still drag himself into the fight here. Mo Solver again. Oh, we got the Sauber off. A Big Boy Joanne again. That's actually just in front of these guys, so I hope he can get that car moving in time. I'm going to just see. There he is. And he's in the middle of the track. Dearie me. Make sure you get out of the way of him. Yeah, thankfully he is slowing down, getting out of the way, but with ghosting off, he could have been a bit of a obstacle there. Right. None of them making any mistakes this time around. Although Mo, you could just see he's trying all he can to get close to Chris. But that is an easier thing said than done, isn't it, Liam?
Yeah, the dirty air in the last sector is very difficult to deal with. So you have to find an unorthodox place to make a move if you're going to try and surprise the person ahead of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't think of where he could do it. I don't know. He has to wait for a mistake. He's got to be absolutely on it and perfect all the way to the flag here and wait for that mistake from Chris. Even like here, he's only 3 tenths off, but he's just not close enough. I mean, the battery, Chris has got more battery anyway, so he can just control that one. But I don't know. Maybe when we get near the finish, he could try some bonkers move. I mean, he's close here, but it's just not close enough. But we're running out of laps. Mint Castrol again is starting to catch these guys. Do you think Seb is maybe kind of losing a bit? Oh, as I say that, there's a mistake from Chris, and he's through. Well, someone's through. He's hit the wall. He's hit the barrier. After all that, and he's hit the barrier. And no damage though, but I tell you, his tyres wouldn't have appreciated that, because the front left there took an almighty whack against the barrier limb. And we know what it's like with sim damage. He's a lucky boy to get away with that one.
Yeah, and it's brought Mint right back into the fight as well. He's within Chris's DRS now.
Dearie me, Mo and Chris in this race twice now coming to blows. And that's what I was saying. It was waiting for that mistake from Chris. And then he was there, ready to pick up the pieces. And, well, we're back to where we were. What's going to happen this time around? I mean,
Chris is going to be all over the back of him now.
He is. And he's going to the inside. And he's made the move on Mo. Mo's hanging it on, though. Right around the outside. And he's going to do it. He's going to hang it on. He's put him on the grass. He's put him on the grass. Incredible racing between these two. Chris is going to go to the outside once again and does get it done. But Mo's chucking it down the inside. Incredible. Mo... he's defending it like absolute crazy here. And, I mean... I'm lost for words.
Seb's got 2.5 seconds now.
Yeah. I mean, they're both just focusing so much on each other there. They both almost hit each other off the track. I mean, the way that Red Bull and the McLaren were there were absolutely... They were foot to the floor because they were moving all over the shop. They're moving again here. And Mo's going to keep this up the inside. And they're going to touch again between them. And they're going to... touch even further. Mo almost jumped off the track. I've lost for words, Liam. Take over from me.
They're just going like hammer and nail at each other.
I mean,
I have no idea.
I mean, this one will kick off in the chat later. But I kind of don't even get it.
Mo's coming back at him.
There he goes. It's a clean pass.
Oh, Chris has a pen. Chris got a pen.
Deary me. And there goes Mint now. It's hilarious. I'm sorry, but those two completely have thrown away this race. Unless they can get them sorted, then that was utterly ridiculous.
Oh,
he's off! I mean, I can only laugh. What on earth has happened to that man's race? He's missing front wing now, and is down in 6th. I mean, I do apologise, viewers. I've completely lost all composure there. But talk to me, Liam. What has happened there? I mean, has he just lost his head?
I think he's been so desperate on the power out the last corner. He's just dropped it.
Ah, dear. Well, there goes Mick Castro, though, on Mo Solver, who again makes a bit of contact with Mint, and it just seems Mo makes contact with everybody in this race so far, and he's going to find himself probably in the stewards with multiple drivers later on. What this has meant that Seb has somehow managed to pull a bit clear. 7 tenths now he's got of a safety net to his teammate, and Ferrari is staring at a 1-2 out of nowhere, Liam. I mean, you know, Mo and Chris there scrapping like crazy has just blown this race right out of the water and straight into the hands of the Ferrari pair.
Yeah, it's come out of absolutely nowhere. Seb's penalty was going to drop him down to maybe 4th before, and now he's comfortably leading, and Mint has again caught 4 seconds on Mo and Chris, and is now he's going to hold Mo up so Seb can win.
You think so? I mean, do you think he's gonna? I mean, surely he's gonna go for the win, surely, or do you think that's not possible now?
I think whatever they do, they'll try and secure the 1-2 either way. So I think Mint. Oh, here goes Mo.
There he goes, right around the outside, up into P2, and an easy pass. So that ruins the whole thing for Ferrari getting this 1-2, because now Mo has only got 4 attempts to take out of Seb, and then he'll be back in the league. I can see Chris is absolutely furious in the chat with Mo Silva, saying he has to get out of the league. I mean, what did you make of that, Liam? I mean, I was lost all composure watching that, because it was just ridiculous. Completely ridiculous, the way they both started scrapping there. I mean, was Mo out of line?
No, I'd say that. Well, I mean, it came out of absolute nowhere. They were calm, and then suddenly they were wheel to wheel for like an entire lap. But I'd say they were both being as aggressive with each other as, they were just aggressive with each other. So I think if Chris has got anything bad to say about Mo, I'm sure Mo's got something bad to say about Chris.
Very true indeed. Well, Chris at the minute is staring at a bit of a shocking result. After taking pole, and then really being in the wars in this race, he now is really staring at a max of P8 here, because my master is miles up the road and doesn't have a penalty. So it's all eyes on that gap from Seb to Mo Solver. We're about to go on to the final lap here, and in a controversial way, and no fault of his own, Seb is staring at a race victory here for Ferrari, which would be the first time since he won the championship with that team many a season ago now. And yeah, there goes Mint then, up into 2nd place. So another twist in the tail. Them guys scrapping away. might just give Seb the opportunity here. And don't forget, Epic the Animal's right behind these two, so if them two kick off here, then he's still ready to pick up the pieces. This could be a grandstand finish, Liam.
Yeah, I mean, Epic's he's gonna hope that Mo gets aggressive with Mint, but I think Mint's just gonna try and coach this home.
Well, here we go. Here we go. What is going to happen here? Because Mo Solver's right there. They're losing time to Seb Goncalves, so they might not win it anyway between the pair of them. There goes Mo to the outside on Mint Cashel. It's an easy overtake in the end, and he does indeed get ahead of the Ferrari. Epic the Animal having a massive wobble there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough, and it looks like Seb Goncalves here has just got to negotiate these final couple of corners, and he will take a win here in Melbourne. He rounds the final corner, has a massive slide, you know, so this could get very tight. There's about 2 tenths in it, for crying out loud. Here comes Seb up to the line. Is he going to do it? We're going to find out. He has, by just under 2 tenths of a second. Seb Goncalves wins for Ferrari. And what a start to the season it is for him and his team. It's a double podium for Ferrari. Mo Solver is second. You've got just about 6 tenths separating the top 3 there in a dramatic race with multiple collisions between some of the front runners. But it is a perfect start to the season for Ferrari. Epic the Animals in 4th. Great result for him. B29 a little bit further back, completing the top 5, with Lauda recovering to 6th. My Master will be delighted with a P7, and then Chris in 8th with a bit of a dramatic race for him, you'd have to say, Liam, and he will be absolutely furious. He already is furious because he's put it in the group chat that he wants Mo out of the league. Can you see his point there?
I mean, everyone gets a bit upset if they're raced a bit aggressively or have any chance of the win stolen away from them, especially after you've raced for that long. But I think the stewards would have to have a look at all the incidents and then decide for themselves.
Well, Big Boy Joanna's our final runner crossing the line. That one, like you say, will get judged later on, but it was. But, well, what a start to the season. Seb Goncalves then wins the season opener down under in Melbourne, and he will be delighted with that. He's already said thanks to his teammate in the Ferrari chat, because he earned him that in some ways, Liam, because if Mint wasn't scrapping with Mo there, he might not have had that safety net of hanging on, because his tyres would have been super warm as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I thought Mint would just get ahead of Mo and try and back it up, so at least one of the Ferraris would win, even if it wasn't himself. It was just great teamwork.
Absolutely. So, obviously, the last time Seb Goncalves won in TFR eSports, I'm trying to quickly bring this up, was way back for Ferrari, all the way back in season 20 Abu Dhabi, which was at least a couple of years ago. And what a start to the season he has made there, back for the Tifosi. He wins then after starting P2 ahead of the McLaren of Mo Solver, who was in the most controversial of races there. I think he's going to be arguing with multiple drivers after that one, with Mint Castro completing the podium, Epic the Animal in 4th, and B29 in 5th. That midfield battle that I was talking about earlier, My Master obviously came out on top on that one. Tax Collector with some big points for Haas there in 9th, and Phantom Fox in the end managed to get that top 10. But that is it. That is your first round of the season. And well, I mean, it was drama-filled, Liam, but then it kind of wasn't. There was lulls in that race where there wasn't much going on. But then when it did happen, it was almost every time there was something chaotic that ended up commencing from those top drivers going wheel to wheel.
Yeah, I mean, it all kicked off in that 2 or 3 lap period, and it was very entertaining to watch. And I'm sure they had great fun battling, even if they claim people were a bit aggressive. Everyone always has fun in an aggressive battle.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I need a bit of a lie down after that one because of just how much I was laughing when those two came to blows. But thank you, though, Liam, for joining me on the commentary for this one. We have the first round done and dusted here in Australia, and we'll be back next week in Shanghai for round two, the Chinese Grand Prix. What is going to happen there? A very, very different circuit to Melbourne, and we'll see you then. And